My name is Eleanor Vadney. I'm with the Wells Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to thank everyone for attending our informational forum this evening. This is on the proposed Rights Based Ordinance that will be the subject of a special town meeting this coming Saturday, May 16th, at 9 o'clock in the morning at the Wells Elementary School. We have 5 panelists this evening, and our moderator tonight is Wells Attorney Joe Carlton.
The Board of Selectmen in December, I think, of 2008 appointed the Ordinance Review Committee to work on ordinances that they wanted us to work on for them. And the first on the agenda was the water extraction ordinance. We started hearing folks, Save Our Water people. They presented several things to us at different meetings. KKW came in and gave a presentation. Poland Spring gave a presentation. We decided as a committee to go with the regulatory type of ordinance, which is like all the other ordinances in town that regulate land use and other things. You have a set of rules and everybody plays by the rules, whether you're a corporation or a private individual or whatever. We would hold all the groundwater in public trust. I'm not too crazy about that idea personally. And the idea that you disenfranchise corporations and take away their rights. And again, this affects more than just people wanting to pump water. You know, this could affect every business in town. And it's, to me, again, personally, it's kind of a fairness thing, running against laws that have been in place and interpretations of the Constitution, and interpretations of the Constitution that have been in place for well over 100 years.
I've attended a lot of meetings concerning this issue, not just here in Wells, but I attended meetings in Shapley as well as Newfield. I have also attended meetings in the city of Sanford, called by the state DEP. And I think I've heard both sides of the issue and understand both sides of the issue. I want to qualify my position that I am not necessarily in leagues with Poland Spring. Poland Spring is going to be withdrawing large quantities of water across this great state of Maine. And Wells is just another community where they're looking for another source of supply. And in my opinion, I think that Poland Spring is getting away with a deal. I think there should be some kind of means of the host community gaining funding as well as the state. This idea of putting 4 pages of language to an ordinance, to me, is unnecessary. If the folks here in town, citizens of Wells, don't want large water extraction, it should be a simple yes or no vote. We should wait to see what our own volunteers come up with for language. I know they're working very diligently on it. They'll do the right thing for us. And I'm sure it'll be a lot more simpler language, understandable by a lot more people. I bet there's probably hardly a person in this audience tonight that is not affected by the tourist industry, which is very large here in town in one way or another. Either you work for it yourself, or a member of your family works in the tourist industry here in town. It's a vital component of the town of Wells economy.
This whole thing has kind of been painted as a David and Goliath situation with the tiny town of Wells battling this large multinational corporation. And therefore, a lot of the language in the ordinance is basically, it's been presented as we are going after this large, this humongous corporation that's basically here to destroy the town. The fact is that, according to the town office, there are over 560 businesses in the town of Wells. They may be large, they may be Hannaford, R.R. Donnelly, the Shaw's Distribution Warehouse, It might be a local contractor who builds homes. It might be an insurance agency. It might be an antique shop. It might be a small restaurant. It might be a little home-based daycare. Those are the businesses that operate in wells. They're mom and pop, they're family operations. How to stop multinational corporations from ravaging our town. Okay, that's the headline. My electrician, I haven't caught him ravaging anything. At one point, we were considering, did we want big box type stores in town? And I think the town felt that the character of our town would be changed forever by allowing that. So we voted against that. There was an issue with natural gas storage tanks and pipelines that was opposed by many residents. Business owners, myself included, I don't feel that we need water extraction in the town of Wells. You know, I think the southernmost part of York County, the second most populated county in the state of Maine, is probably not the best place to be drawing water from.
They tried the regulatory approach. It failed miserably. They were brought to court and sued repeatedly. And not only sued for the regular things that you get sued for, but also for something called future lost profits, where if a corporation has vested in your community, in other words, they have an interest there, and you don't allow them to carry on with their work and to withdraw as much water, in this case, as they have in their contract, they can sue you for the profits they would have made had they been allowed to continue. That's something you want to think about. The right to control what happens to your local water supply will be removed from the possibility of people who live here once you enter a contract with Nestle. Because they're an international corporation, once they become vested in your community, everything at the international level will trump anything local and state. So all of the state laws, federal laws, will be overridden by international treaty law. It's a different area. The parts of the Constitution that are stripped away from corporations are the parts that they have routinely used to override community decision-making at the local level. They sue under the Commerce Clause, they sue under the Contracts Clause, they take the rights that people won through struggle during the Civil War and the Revolutionary War and the labor movement and the women's movement, and they take that 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment rights and use them to override your decision-making authority. If people don't believe what I'm saying, do you read the newspaper? Have you been looking at the Freiberg case? Well, the community set up a comprehensive plan. And when the water company wanted to expand their operations and build a loading dock, the citizens didn't think it was a very good place for a loading dock because of the highway entrance and the high impact it would have on the neighborhood. Yet Nestle's CEO, in arguing in court, said that their right to grow market share superseded the right of the community members to decide what would happen in their town. These are the rights that corporations have acquired through judge-made law that they use to override your decision-making authority. It's not like when the ordinance passes, you lose all your rights. You still have your corporate shield at the state level, and you have all your liability protections. Nothing changes to local businesses. It's not brought forward by Save Our Water. That is a misconception. The people that brought forth this ordinance called me on the phone and asked for help because they saw me do it in Barnstead and Nottingham and Atkinson and said, can you help us? Because we have our backs against the wall and we don't know what to do. We have our water district ready to sell away our water. We don't agree. We don't want our water sold. If the people in this room don't want their water sold, don't vote for a regulatory ordinance because that's about regulating water extraction, not banning it.
The ordinance before us is one that was written and taken off a web page, plugged our name in, and basically given to us to enact. We had no input in this. Nobody in this room, nobody in this town had any input on the ordinance before us. It was drafted by a group out of town, up at Portland, who's a law professor, who has very different opinions about NAFTA and its impact, about the impact of rights-based ordinances, about the impact of establishing laws that conflict with state law. We all know, and if you took high school government, you know that if there's a conflict in law between a state and municipality, state law trumps. That's established law. We as much as we may want to say that's the law, and we have to abide as a people of that. The same thing with the Dominion rule. I mean, that is established law. The state Supreme Court has established that as law. Regulatory ordinances have served us well, have served this town well. Jake mentioned the tank issue. The ordinances we established in this town served this town well against several multinational, multi-international corporations. And we did win that fight. So it's not that you can't do it.